doing this completely and utterly back to front. I actually arrived at Follyfoot Fishery yesterday at about, must have been about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, in wet, windy, horrible conditions. And yeah, I originally set up over the way in hut 10 behind me here, and it turned out that the huts have been double booked. So I couldn't get in there, but I could get in here, which is hut 19, which I've fished loads of times before. And so yeah, I shifted over here and I can stay here till 1 o'clock this afternoon, which is pretty much when I've got to head back to Bristol anyway. But the good thing was, in hut 10, I got the zigs out and I didn't really bother setting up too much. I put one rod out with the zig float so I could get the depth, and I put that about, oh, it must have been 3-4 foot under the surface, and I put the other two rods next to it at kind of 3 foot and 6 foot. And yeah, I didn't have to wait long till this happened. But this is my first fish. Absolutely tore off on a zig, and it's not a bad one. There you go. One fish and a black and yellow zig. Love it. That's my first one from Follyfoot today. I've got no rods in the water anymore because he wiped out both of my rods. So yeah, let's get back on the zigs. Now I did get another 2 runs from that spot, but they were aborted pickups. And I think the disturbance of catching that fish really put it off. So I figured rather than do the night over there and then have to move early in the morning, because apparently, although they haven't turned up, there's supposed to be guys in there by 8 o'clock this morning and it's now about 8:30. But yeah, that fish that I had was really good. It actually straightened out the hook. I was using these tiny little size 10, I think they're PR38 hooks. I use them for most of my surface fishing. But the hook was nearly straightened out, which was a bit iffy, so I've upped the gauge on the hooks that I'm using now. Yeah, so I moved around here, and yesterday turned into an absolute zig fest. I just had fish after fish, and it was really good. I really had to work at it. I tried lots of different depths. I got completely pissed off with the zig float. It was just tangling and not coming up to the surface and being an absolute pain in the neck. So I worked out the depth out in front of me, and I tied up 3 different zigs at 3 different levels, and I got them out on the spot. So there you go, fish number 2. It's taken a while, it's hard fishing today. But yeah, another one fell to the zigs. I'm stuck with the zigs this afternoon. I've got one on the bottom, but oh, hello. But yeah, this little fella put up a really good scrap actually, really enjoyable. So yeah, all 3 rods are back out. The zig float is driving me nuts, so I've actually just plumbed up a depth and I think I'm going to sort a proper one out. Yeah, I'm going to get this little jumpy fella back and hopefully we'll get some more. Well, I think the fish may have been sitting a foot or 2 deeper than I thought they were. There's so much surface activity that I really thought that there'd be in the upper layers, but as an experiment I tied a new zig up with about 6 foot. I've been fishing at about 8 foot, and I put it out and I had a run within, I think it was about 3 minutes it went off, and unfortunately it wasn't this one. It was another fish that did me under the platform, which was a bit gutting. So I got the rod back out as soon as I could, and this fella took it on the drop. So yeah, fish number 3 is still pretty slow. I'm still persevering with the zigs. I haven't had a tap and nothing on the bottom bait rod. I'm toying with the idea of switching the 3rd rod over to a zig as well, because that's the only bit of action I've had. And the only difference that I've done is I'm chucking a couple of spods of sloppy spod mix out over the top every kind of 5 minutes or so. Yeah, another fish. Happy days. So it would appear double hookup is in order. And yeah, both just two incredibly quick bites on the right hand rod again. One slightly smaller one who disappeared off, and yeah, I was just trying to set up the GoPro to do a bit of a time lapse, and the bobbin just hit the deck, so it was drop back bite and off it went. So yeah, another nice little common. A slightly bigger fish, who, to be honest, I thought I'd foul hooked. This went about a minute after I put the rod back out, and yeah, he went absolutely bananas. Went all over the place. They are desperately trying to do me under the platform, but I'm managing to steer them out. So there you go, another nice common. And it seems, yeah, the red zig foam is the one that they are absolutely loving at the moment. I've dropped down to, I've got one rod at 7 foot, one rod at 6 foot. And it's the 7 foot rod that's doing the bites with the red foam on it. So yeah, another nice common. It's beginning to get a bit chillier now. I'm wondering if they might start heading down to the deck. So I haven't had a knock or a tap on the bottom bait rod, so yeah, we might try and get that in, freshen up the bait, put another bag on, see what happens. But yeah, happy days. But pretty much out of light now. But the second time that this has happened, cast the zig out and I'm reeling back in just to kind of tighten up the lead, and it's gone as I'm reeling in. Only a little. Put another on the zig to the red foam, doing the do. Love it. So it's been a bit slow so far, but after a bit of mucking around with zigs and stuff, they dried up. So I put out the bottom baits, and yeah, this fella ripped off on a pink sent from hell dumbbell. It's a funny bite. Bobbin went up to the blank, but it wasn't taking any line. Struck into it, and off he went. Yeah. Not a bad fish. I'm still getting knocks and taps, so you never know. Might be another one pretty soon. And another one. Just when I was thinking, maybe I should get my head down for a little while. Again, it's that left-hand rod. It's funny. It's been the story of today, actually. Is every time I've found a spot, I've had multiple fish off it, rather than being all kind of like 2 rods going or 3 rods going or 2 spots being productive. It's all been about one spot kicking off. Yeah, another decent sized common. Pretty happy with that. And they just fight so hard here, especially when you get them towards the platforms. They just know that they're coming in. So yeah, pretty pleased with that. Nice fish. I'm beginning to get a little sleepy. Just getting back. There you go. The palest common in the lake, I reckon. It's definitely the palest I've seen. Yeah, not a bad fish. Another one on the pink dumbbells. I tried yellow, no joy. I tried boilies, no joy at all. So yeah, I'm switching all 3 rods onto pink. And yeah, two of the rods are producing fish. The third one, strangely, which is along the tree margin, hasn't done me a fish at all. So yeah, I keep moving where that one is, but yeah, all of these fellas are coming to open water straight out in front of me. Only about 6.5 wraps, something like that. So yeah, I'm going to get my head down now though, because I'm getting pretty tired. It's about 12ish, I think. So yeah, slip this fella back, get some shut-eye, never know, get another couple during the night, hopefully. I'm only fishing maybe 6.5 wraps out in front of me, and I'm dumping a really kind of sloppy spod mix out, which is made up of custard, porridge oats, bread, bit of hemp, bit of sweet corn, and some floating dog biscuits. And at the moment I'm kind of putting out 1 spod every kind of quarter of an hour or so. just to kind of let the cloud drift through. The interesting thing was that all of the bites came on the right hand rod, and I think it's because of the tow going across the lake. It's quite windy yesterday, and I think although I was spodding over the left hand rod, I think it was drifting across the right hand rod, and that was what was picking them off. But yeah, I've been up for an hour or so and not a lot's happened. I've seen a couple of fish bosh out on the surface, but not a lot's been going on. Currently I've got 2 rods on the bottom. I switched to the bottom baits pretty much when it went dark, because the zigs just completely died a death. Nothing was happening at all. And yeah, I had quite a few runs on the bottom baits. Nice thing was that they're all decent sized fish. I've been plagued by little ones the last couple of times that I've come down here, but this time they're all decent sized commons. I haven't had a mirror yet. But yeah, it was loads of fun, really enjoyed it, and I think I reeled in, it must have been about 2 o'clock, got my head down for a bit because I was really tired, and to be honest, the bites had dried up, nothing was going on. So yeah, it's up this morning, kind of, must have been 7:30, got the spod rod out, got some more bait going in, got 2 rods out on the deck in solid bags. It's the pink sent from Hill Wafters that are dumbbells that are just doing it at the moment, or at least they were last night. And yeah, once the sun came up and it started getting warm, I got the sloppy spod mix back out, and I've got 1 out on the zig. Nothing's happened so far, and I'm toying with switching one of the other bottom bait rods onto a zig at a different depth, just to see if I can pick off a fish. But yeah, for the moment, I've got my trusty boiled eggs to eat. And yeah, I'm gonna have a bit of breakfast, enjoy this sunshine, see if we can catch some more fish. This one has been hard earned. I lost one on the zigs, an absolute screaming run. How on earth it didn't turn into a fish, I don't know. And then this one on the middle rod ripped off, again on the zigs. And yeah, then I had another little common on the bottom bait rod. So it's not exactly on fire at the moment, but it's nice to have a fish at last. It's been tough going this morning. I've probably only got another couple of hours left, to be honest. Sun's out, it's warmish, but there's a cold wind blowing down that lake, and I'm keeping the spod mix going in, but yeah, I'm not seeing any fish up on the surface. So I've actually dropped one of the zigs down another couple of foot to see if the fish are actually further down in the lake. Yeah, nice to have another one. Okay, so this is my 3rd attempt at doing an exit vlog. The first one, the microphone wasn't turned on. The second one, the SD card filled up, so hopefully I can get through this one. Yeah, I moved back to Hut 10. The guy who was supposed to come in here didn't turn up. So yeah, a bit irritating. It would have been nice to have stuck in this one, but hey, Hut 19 was very kind to me. I had several really good fish, and it was great fun fishing with the zigs. I feel like I've kind of got a bit of a confidence boost with them, and hopefully, because I'm planning a trip down to Shearwater, the practice here will yeah, pay off. Yeah, I've probably got about half an hour left before I have to be back in the car and heading back up to Brizzle. And yeah, I've still got 2 rods out on the zigs. I've got 1 rod out on the bottom, so who knows, I might be lucky, might get a last minute fish. But at the moment it is just dead, nothing is happening. There is white-capped waves coming across the water because it's so windy. It's pretty chilly, to be honest, as well. So yeah, I'm not surprised the fish aren't playing ball, because I wouldn't be hungry. I think they're probably shoaled up somewhere and waiting for it to warm up, or for this wind to die off, which it probably will do, we'll see. So yeah, sorry there hasn't been a huge amount of kind of rigs and bits and pieces. I mean, the zigs are as simple as you like, and the bottom bait rigs are exactly the same. I think the key has been changing the depths and changing the colour foam that I've been using. Certainly last night, dropping 2 foot and putting red zig foam on just made all the difference. All of a sudden I had kind of 6 fish in kind of quick succession. And yeah, certainly then when it died off, coming up a foot or down another foot seemed to make all the difference. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. It made me, you know, kind of think and work my way around it. So yeah, quite a short video, lots of fish I suppose, and not a lot of talking in between, which maybe that's a good thing. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, subscribe if you haven't. I'll see you next time. Cheers.